1408, what I think really works is that if it was just another horror film where, you know, you're in the room and things are happening, going bump and jumps and scares, but I think what really makes this film work is your backstory. Yeah. That, you know, because your personal demons, your guilt, and what's happened to your character, there is a personal connection that you wouldn't have if you were just being scared as an average Joe.
Yeah, I think, and that's what Stephen King does that's so underrated, which is he does all the bumps in the nights and the jump scares and the gruesome things, but he also sets up these fantastic characters with backstories and with rich lives, and then he puts those fully formed people into these mazes. So it's kind of, that's what makes it, I think, cut down to the bone.
I play Sir Ken Olin. He's the manager of the Dolphin Hotel, who I guess some people might say is a crypt keeper. Maybe not. Maybe he is an honest manager of a hotel who's very proud of his hotel and doesn't want this guy to stay in it because of the bad things that have happened in that room. Historically, lots of people have died in that room. Bad things happened in that room. So we don't know if he's actually daring Mr. Enslin to stay in the room, or he's kind of saying, let's see if you can take it, or if he's honestly asking him not to stay there.
In these scenes where you don't know what's reality, you don't know what's happening that's fantasy or horror, and you're always second-guessing yourself as you're watching this, you know, through your perspective. You know, are you hallucinating? Is evil really happening there? And you have some really emotional scenes. And I was wondering, as an actor, where do you place yourself? You know, for example, when your daughter shows up, you know, and you have this emotional breakdown, where do you go to as an actor like that to find that?
I don't know. You just sort of go for it, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is your big scene, you know, where you're just gonna, this room has knocked you down to your knees, and you just absolutely give yourself up.
Yeah, I think the idea would probably be, you know, that's one of the nice things about getting older is, you know, things happen, and you can have victories and defeats, and, you know, everybody gets their head handed to them at one point in their life.
Stephen King movie. I mean, a movie based on a short story by Stephen King.
Yes.
I can't imagine for an actress what could be more exciting when that phone call came, say, well, what is 1408? Well, what's that? It's a short story by Stephen King.
Yeah, I mean, I had to earn it. I had to get in there and read, but I'm happy to do it. I would have read 1,000,000 times.
So even though you're an established theater actress and movie actress, auditioning is always a part of your career.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but I don't mind auditioning. I actually like it. I mean, I feel like I don't want to do a job that I'm not right for and then show up and have everyone go, not really what we wanted. You know, I mean, I'd rather them know what they're getting. And
so you know when a read is going well or an audition is going well, you feel you're in your moment, or sometimes you...
You can kind of tell, I think. You know, I've certainly tanked a bunch, and you know that too.
There's a scene where you meet your father, John Cusack, in the room, and he hugs you and you... How do I say this delicately? You die in his arms.
Yeah, I turn into ash.
You do, but before you turn into ash, you literally go limp in his arms, and we see your face, and it's pretty scary. It's pretty horrific. How did you hold that pose? Because you do that classic, you know. So what did Michael say to you? He said, okay, did you practice dying like that? Because it was really creepy.
Okay, yeah.
Giving the shivers here, huh?
I did do that. I did do that scene many times because I was like... I mean, it's hard to do that. I have, but the scene I did many times because of like...
I know, because you just lay there limp like this, you know, and it's like, it was very convincing.
Yeah,
very,
but they
very
did it, and I'm like, yes, I got it.
And your character, he's a serious novelist, but nobody wants to read his serious novels. He has to subject himself to the top 10 haunted lighthouses and haunted hotel rooms, because that's what sells, that's what brings in the money. And I was thinking, as an actor, actors have to go through that too. They want the Shakespeare, they want these roles, but sometimes they have to accept lesser roles to pay the bills.
Oh yeah, many times.
Sir, help! Yeah, I need help! Can you see me? Call the police! Help! Help!
For a director, it must have been the ultimate challenge to find out you're doing a movie, 1408, where the entire movie takes place in a hotel room.
I know. I can't believe I did it. Well, it was challenging, but it was also, you know, that was one of the things that drew me to this project. Obviously, you know, that challenge and to create something in such a contained area. But hotels are great places. Hotels are great arenas for dramas. So that was one aspect of it, and obviously getting, you know, a great actor to try to pull this off.
And the room is always changing, so it must have been difficult for you in planning this film that the hotel room went through so many different looks and different aspects during his stay in the room.
Yeah, I think we ended up with 8 or 9 different versions of the room in the end, but at least for the first few weeks we had the first pristine version of the room, and I think that was important also for John's performance, that we could at least for a little time shoot in story order, but then, you know, for practical reasons, things, you know, changed in that way.
What happens inside 1408 is pretty extraordinary. You know, it's chilling, it's scary, it's emotional, but the whole movie has a proper setup with Samuel L. Jackson in his speech to John Cusack in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah.
And I think that really sets the tone for the movie before we get to the room. And I was wondering, how easy did that come for Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack to play that scene?
Well, you know, that scene is really it's the heart of the short story, and it's basically, you know, word for word from the short story. That scene. I think they never worked together before, John and Sam, but for me it was very important to have a strong, charismatic actor standing up to John's character in that scene, because it's an interesting game going on in that quite long sequence with the two of them, and I think Sam was the right guy to do that, and I think they had a lot of fun. They gave each other a lot of good energy. I could see that on the set, and we rehearsed it almost as a play for a day or so, and then we shot it, and I was, you know, I'm really proud that I put these two guys in a room together.
Easy, man.
Look, Mr. Enslin, you don't have to stay in 1408. You can take photographs of 1404. It has the exact same layout, and no one will ever know the difference. My training is as a manager, not a coroner.
You know, John has this really, you know, wow, amazing energy. So to have me and him in the same scene is like almost like contrasting styles. If you ask the majority of editors that have worked on the films that I've done from take to take to take, you can probably lay them over each other and you'll see me do the same action. John does something different every time they say action. John's like changing. So it's kind of like fun to have my consistent energy and his kind of manic energy as Mr. Enslin kind of bouncing around the room and making choices and thinking and stopping and changing his rhythm all the time. It kind of keeps you on your toes. It's fun.
I'm gonna die.
I warned you about 1408.